Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and I'm doing a very special video this time. I'm going to be ranking all 10 Dio albums from worst to best. So with that, let's begin. At number 10, the worst Dio album ever, Magica. Just why? Just why? They had every single, they had every single piece there to make a great concept album, and it just flopped. This is probably one of, if not the worst concept albums I've ever heard. It's very annoying. Like, it's way too long. It's very boring, and it has these very just annoying mid sections throughout the album where, like, you have these, I don't know if they're called interludes or what, but probably interludes. You have these annoying interludes with this sort of robotic voice just cataloging findings of whatever in the future. I don't know, but it's just a very long, boring, and in places annoying album that just does not work as a concept album and just is a very terrible album as a whole. But yeah, Magica is at number 10, and it's the worst Dio album. Alright, number 9, Killing the Dragon. Another very boring album. It was a very, very, just annoying thing to get through. I just do not like this album. Honestly, I was really hoping to like this album because at that point, when I first got this, I was only hearing very good things about this album from people that I talked to, that do love Dio, and I was very hyped, and then I listened to it, and then, like, why? Why do people, maybe not love this album, but people like this album? And I just don't get it. I really don't. But yeah, that's at number 9, the second worst Dio album. Alright. Now, these next few I don't actually own. These next, 2 or 3. At number 8 is, what did I have at number 8 again? Oh, yeah. At number 8 is Last in Line. Their second album, I think. Yeah, it's their second album. Last in Line just has the same problem as the other two. The main problem is that it's just so boring. There's not a song on there that I enjoy, and it's just one that it was a very, tiresome and aggravating task to get through listening to it. But yeah, Last in Line is at number 8. Number 7 is one that people are going to be very surprised that it's this low, and that's Dream Evil. Honestly, it's, in my opinion, their second worst of the 80s stuff. It just isn't that good. It wasn't an aggravating listen to get through, but it was just something that I'm like, is there really any song that I will like on this album? And by the end, I'm just like, no, apparently not. But yeah, so that's at number 7. At number 6 is the other one another one that I don't own, but I have listened to, and that's Sacred Heart. This one isn't a bad album, but it is an album that just pales in comparison to some other ones. It is a very decent album, but it just can't quite match up to some other ones. Anyway, number 5. Number 5 is Strange Highways. This one was pretty disappointing, considering that I had heard a snippet of one song before I listened to this for the first time. I believe it was, I think it may have been, Evolution, maybe. I don't know. I heard a snippet of one of the songs at one point, and I actually kind of liked it, but didn't really get around to checking it out until, checking the full album out until recently. Then when I listened to the full album, there were like one, two, three, three songs that were decent, but that's really about it. Here's the thing though, I love the heaviness of this album and I love Dio's vocals on here. But the songs themselves, for the most part, are just generic 90s sounding, generic 90s metal. And it just is something that I think had a very high potential of being good, but unfortunately just didn't work out. But yeah, Strange Highways is at number 5. At number 4 is Lock Up the Wolves. A very surprising album. I wasn't expecting anything good from this album. I don't know why, but it is a very, very solid album. Actually, the first time I listened to this and then I did the review on it, there were a few songs on here that I didn't like. And then yeah, there's still a few songs I don't like on here, but I actually have grown to love basically all the first 5 songs. Yeah, the first 5 songs I absolutely love, but it's just the second half. Songs 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 are just still very, boring. But, the first 5 I absolutely love. I'd say probably my favorite would definitely be Night Music. But yeah, just a very solid album for the first half. I just wish the second half was as good as the first. But yeah, it's pretty good. And it's at number 4. At number 3. Number 3 is Angry Machine, their last 90s album. And what a way to end out the 90s stuff, because this album is very good. There's only a few songs on here that I don't like. I believe it was Double Monday, Golden Rules, and maybe Black and Stay Out of My Mind or something. But for the most part, the songs I love are just so good. I love Institutional Man. I love Don't Tell the Kids. Hunter of the Heart's pretty good. Big Sister's okay. And then Dying in America and This Is Your Life are amazing. But yeah, so overall a very good album with only like a very few songs that I don't like. And I love the heaviness on this one. It's not as heavy as Strange Highways, but it is still pretty heavy, and I do like it. But yeah, very underrated album. At number 3. At number 2 is, probably the most underrated Dio album, and that's Master of the Moon. I absolutely love this album. Yes, there's only, 4 songs on here that I like, but even then, those 4 songs are so good that they hold up the album. Those 4 songs are One More for the Road, Master of the Moon, Shivers, and The Eyes. Just such great songs. And Shivers is probably either my first or second favorite Dio song. But yeah, just a really, really great album. It has a fantastic atmosphere. It just really, envelops you into the world that this album, represents. Just very this also the thing I like about Dio's lyrics is the fact that even though there's a world set up, there's still enough space to where you can put your imagination to work, and you could interpret the song any way you want, any of these songs any way you want, and it works out. But yeah, just a really fantastic album. It's at number 2. And at number 1, I had to go with the absolute masterpiece, Holy Diver. Very few songs on here that I don't like. Like, there's only one, 2, 3, only 4 songs on here that I don't like. But the rest are amazing. Stand Up and Shout, Holy Diver, Caught in the Middle, Straight Through the Heart, and Rainbow in the Dark. Rainbow in the Dark, I would say, is probably, I'd say my second favorite Dio song besides Shivers, which is probably my first favorite. I don't know, there's just so many good songs that I love. But yeah, just a very solid and just a very, very good album that anyone who loves metal should listen to this at least once because it's just that good. But yeah, so yeah, it's at number one. Yeah, but that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.